Let me start by saying this. Every game has its own genre. We have to respect that. ArcRaiders is an extraction shooter. That's what it is. But I think some people, myself included, came into this expecting something else because of the kind of games we've played. For me, I've spent years in games like The Division 2, massive open world RPG looter shooters where you can actually live in the world. There's progression, exploration, crafting, builds, and it's pretty much a lifestyle. So when I jumped into ArcRaiders, I had to reset that mindset, even in the tech test too, because this isn't that. And here's a truth that a lot of people don't want to admit. If you've never played an extraction shooter before, you're probably going to be confused, maybe even disappointed after trying the server slam. And that's not because the game is bad at all. It's because you're not familiar with the loop. Extraction shooters are about risk and reward. You go out, farm for materials, extract, and use what you earn to craft and improve. Then you dive back in. It's rinse and repeat. But it's all about that tension, the thrill of possibly losing everything you worked for. And trust me, it's happened to me many times. And for me personally, I've never really been a big fan of that loop. I like to take what I've earned and use it somewhere else. When I grind hard and pull like something really rare out of a sweaty extraction, I want to take that gear into an open world mission or PvE environment to cool down and actually enjoy the loot. That's how I like to play. But ArcRaiders isn't built around that specifically. It's not trying to be everything. It's focused on the core extraction experience. And honestly, we gotta respect it. A lot of people judge the game off the server slam, which was a stress test for the developers to see if their game could survive thousands of people on the server all at once. It wasn't meant to show off everything. And that's the definition of a server slam. But I do think that the developers, maybe thinking from a perspective of the player, maybe could have made it a little bit more, because not only was this a server slam, but by the timing and the actual marketing of the game, the build up, people were expecting more. And so I think this was an opportunity for the developers to show what their game was about. I mean, it's in a good place right now. It's still going to blow up regardless, because right after the server slam, I ran a poll on my channel asking, will you purchase ArcRaiders after playing? And the results didn't surprise me. 70% said yes, 30% said no. That's as of recording this video. And I wouldn't be surprised if similar polls across channels show the same thing, because it tells you something important. A lot of players still want this game. It says a lot about the foundation Embark is built. And a few weeks before that, I ran another poll asking what actually keeps players playing a game long term. What's true in-game to you? The majority voted for a perfect blend of PvP and PvE, not one nor the other. And I agree. That's exactly what I've been saying. I want to have those high stakes moments, but also places where I can breathe, explore the world, uncover lore, and actually learn the origin of the Arc. You know what I mean? Actually play the lore. With what the devs said at TwitchCon, that gives me hope. Because if EmbarkStudios is truly taking this unconventional route, it wouldn't surprise me if they eventually added elements you wouldn't expect from a traditional extraction shooter. Like what everyone else is doing. They've already taken many other paths. That remains to be seen though, but I'm hopeful. For now, I'm just going to experience the game for what it is and let it grow from there. But at TwitchCon, Embark devs actually addressed a lot of this. From day one, they've been doing things differently. They confirmed that ArcRaiders is meant to be a 10-year experience, like what Bungie said about Destiny back in the day. It's a live service game with long-term ambitions, and they're pacing themselves accordingly. And here's another interesting take. They also said there won't be a public roadmap, and I actually respect that. Their reasoning was that roadmaps can turn into promises that sometimes can't be kept if things change behind the scenes. Instead, they want the game to evolve naturally, based on how players actually experience it. And that says a lot about the transparency that they want to have with the consumers. I think Embark has always been good with that type of back and forth anyway. But they did confirm that after launch, we can expect new weapons, new maps, and updates that build on what's already there. But they're not locking themselves into a quote-unquote checklist. And this is one thing I want to talk about, okay? I noticed that when I was playing the server slam, and I know a lot of players did notice this too, but is that when you go into the Raider Den, it feels like there's potential for something more. Right now, it's essentially a character screen, a place to change your look and access certain menus. And when they revealed that Raider Den in the Discord a couple months back, they were actually explaining it like it would be a personal living space that you could like walk around, hang out in, and just like lounge around. And when you go even deeper into the interface where you can see all the traders, you notice something else. Beneath that, you see Speranza, the bustling area of life, NPCs walking around, literally, people cooking food, traders at a bar, raiders sitting and talking. That was what you saw in the CGI trailers. You get that atmosphere of a lived-in world. It paints this image in your mind that you actually be there, walking around, interacting, feeling that immersion. That's what I was hoping for, honestly. A true social space where you can meet up with other players in real time, the way MMOs and open world games do it. A hub where you can walk around, chat, and maybe even trade gear with your friends. Because let me give you just an example of why this would work perfectly and help with convenience. In the server slam, one of my friends got killed during the raid. I managed to avenge him.
Got him.
Took out the raider that dropped him, looted both their bodies, and extracted successfully. Later, we linked up back in Speranza, but I couldn't give his stuff back right there. The only way I could return it was to queue into another raid, drop it there, and risk getting killed again just to hand it off. Well, that's an extreme example because you can hand it off to him and then immediately extract, okay? But, you know, where's the fun in that? For convenience, why not have something like this? I imagine how much better it would be to have a trading hub in Speranza, somewhere you can safely exchange loot, trade with other players, or even have player-driven markets tied to in-game currency. Maybe group up and say, hey, let's load in right now and try and take down the queen. Who knows? There's a lot of possibilities with this mindset, because that's the kind of system that could make the game feel alive. And to be fair, maybe that's something they'll add down the line, because like I said before, we can't impose what we want on the game. We have to respect what it is. But still, that vision is in a lot of players' wish lists, including mine. And who knows, maybe later they'll add exactly that kind of hub or a proper PvE zone to go fight the Ark together. The lore already leaves so much room for it, so much to be desired. So like I said, I was expecting some of these things, maybe more than what's here right now, but that doesn't mean it won't grow into it. The foundation is solid and the devs clearly have long-term plans. At the end of the day, it comes down to this, all right? We have to stop saying, oh, this game should be like this, or it should have this, or whatever. I mean, take the game for what it is and appreciate it. ArcRaiders is doing something bold. They've been doing it from the beginning, which is why it has so much appeal. It's not trying to be Division, or it's not trying to be any other game. It's carving its own lane as an extraction shooter, but in a little different way. And whether that's for you or not is totally fine. But just don't judge the game based on 10% of what it is entirely. If you didn't like it, that's totally fine. But if you understand what it's trying to do and you meet it on its own terms, you might see why the devs are calling it a 10-year game. Anyways, that'll do it for this one. I want to hear what you think down in the comment section below. I just felt I had to say this because of all the controversy. I wanted to just basically tell you how the devs responded, and I want to know what you think in the comment section below. If you like this conversation, then like the video and subscribe to my channel if you're new here. Which side are you on? The 70 that want to still purchase the game, or the 30 that's saying no? Let me know. I'll see you in the next one. Be right out.